previous video on my Ford Ranger. I did a video basically why certain things I didn't like about it and why I eventually ended up selling it back to the dealer. So as you can see, this is not a Ford Ranger. It's a 2021 Toyota Tacoma. It is actually the Trail Edition, which is basically the SR5 with some tweaks. Basically blacked out badging, fender flares, and blacked out wheels. And the Trail Edition also came with 2 storage bins, coolers in the back, which the first thing I did the day after I bought this was remove them. Unfortunately, it was just part of the package, but I didn't need them. If you're a camping enthusiast, I guess that would be great. But for me, it didn't serve any purpose. So anyway, to the main subject. What's different, what's better about the Toyota Tacoma versus the Ford Ranger? So number one, obviously the grill. The grill is not stock. The Trail Edition actually comes with a limited grill, but I hate chrome. So within the first week of owning this, I had this new grill on order. And I just love the way it looks. So the way I see it, this SR5 Trail Edition is pretty much on the same playing field as my Ford Ranger Sport. Basically why I got this is long-term resale value. Obviously we're in a car crunch right now. The Ranger, I feel the value was inflated, and I had the chance to make some money off of that, so I just decided to unload it. So why'd I go with a Tacoma? Like I said, resale value. And overall build quality, just to me, feels better in certain locations that I was looking for. Number one, the doors, when you close them, they just feel solid. Interior build quality definitely feels better. And also I feel you get a little bit more for your money with the Tacoma. Power sliding rear window comes on the SR5. I think it's standard on the SR5. Ranger, I feel you had to get an upper level trim just to get a sliding rear window. Heated side mirrors came on this package. Also the indicators on the mirrors, standard on this, wasn't on the Ranger. This Trail Edition actually has 265 70 16 tires, Goodyear Wranglers. They're actually the same size tires as, I believe, is what comes on the TRD Pro. And this one that I picked up came from the factory with the hard tonneau cover, which is great. I haven't had any issues with water or anything coming in. The only knock I give it is to fully remove this. I don't know why Toyota makes it so difficult. You have to unbolt this retention bolt, which is no big deal if you know you need to remove it. Just for me, it's spur of the moment. Could be an issue. One knock I will give the Tacoma, and this is just my personal opinion, is the taillight design. There's just all halogen bulbs. It's just an old design. Doesn't really feel inspired, but I can live with it, I guess. So one thing I did like about the Ford Ranger is all LED tail lights. I love the way they lit up. You know, the crispness of the LEDs. Didn't have to worry about them at all. Actually, I already replaced the reverse lights with LEDs because the first thing I noticed taking this home is the reverse lights, at least with the halogens, are not great. Also, the reverse camera in this is not anything to write home about. My Ford Ranger Sport actually had the rear parking sensors in the back, which was nice. It also had the projection, the lines that turned with your steering. Tacoma has neither, at least on this SR5. Another knock I got to give the Tacoma is the gas cap. It's 2021. Lots of manufacturers have flipped over to the capless gas tanks. I don't see why Toyota can't follow suit. After being a Ford owner for 6 years, I got kind of used to it, but I guess some manufacturers haven't gone that way yet. Also, another thing I really like is the all LED third brake light. Just a nice clean look, especially on this white. And I love on Trail Edition how they even included black lug nuts. So it's a real nice stormtrooper look, at least on the white. I do kind of find myself wishing I would have waited out for the cement gray. But to be honest, this was kind of spur of the moment, and it is what it is. Another knock is the lack of tow hooks in the front. Toyota gives you, and as far as I'm aware, this hook in the front is only for transportation, tie down point. But no recovery hooks in the front. Ford Ranger had two. But I will give this, even just seeing an SR5, it has a radar cruise control. I haven't had a chance to really get into it, but it's a nice bonus, nice option. Speaking of safety, the lane departure I'm not a huge fan of. Ford, I think, did it better. To be honest, I haven't even figured out how to turn it off in this, but the constant beeping every time I slip over a line after 2 weeks of ownership is getting kind of old. This being an SR5, it's just your standard halogen headlights, halogen fog lights. Those have been swapped out to LED. I'd love to upgrade to the Morimoto version 2 headlights eventually. And this also came with the Predator side steps. To be honest, I'm half tempted just to remove these. I don't like the individual step points. If I'm gonna have a side step, I'd rather it just be a long bar where I can step on at any point. I've already almost slipped off this trying to clean the roof. They look nice, but functionality, especially if you're trying to take this thing off-road, it's just something for it to catch on. And as far as interior goes, I will say, as far as the seating position goes, The first time I test drove this, I kind of convinced myself that it was horrible. After taking it for second and third test drive, it's not unlivable. Still not great. And another gripe is the unadjustability of the steering wheel. So even when you have this fully all the way back, there's still a good 15-degree angle or so. I don't know if we can see that. Me personally, I prefer to have my steering wheel as vertical as possible. And this is at a constant angle, and that can't be adjusted out. It tilts, it telescopes, but that angle is constantly in there. But as far as the steering wheel is concerned, I do really prefer this over the Ranger. I like just the open 6 o'clock position. And the leather, even on an SR5, feels pretty good. Another bonus, small detail, but the details matter. Ford Ranger didn't have a lighted key ring. So it's nice just to see those little details not being, penny pinched away. One more thing that might not seem like a big deal to most people, but again, to me, it's all in the details. Lighted cargo compartment. So, as I mentioned, the Ford Ranger, the position of the shifter was not lighted in my XLT Sport. This, and I even test drove an SR, are lighted. One ding I do have to give is the screen is not the best I've ever seen. Resolution, not sure what it actually is, but it's not great, and might be hard to see on video, but I mean, there's a good 1/4 inch from the glass to the actual screen, so you always have that apparent depth, and the brightness isn't the greatest. Auto dimming rearview mirror. Small detail, I like having the compass up in the mirror as opposed to stashed away in the screen. It's nice just to be able to glance up there, see which direction you're heading. Lighted vanity mirror, always nice. Decent sized glove box, and another attention to detail, the lighted USB ports. Although one thing I did notice is those are charging only. I didn't realize until I was trying to use Android Auto. I had my phone plugged into those, and nothing was happening. So if you're trying to use Android Auto, you're forced to use this front USB, which I like to keep my wires and mess as minimal as possible, but it is what it is. Also, if you watch my Ford Ranger review, you would know the window position switches they were clear back here in the Ford Ranger, which got really annoying after a while. So it's nice to see, hey, these are in a proper location. And also with this only being the SR5, I guess with the Trail Edition, it comes with a 400-watt plug in the bed. Also, you've got plenty of cup holders in here. You've got 1, 2, passenger side, 3, 4, 5 in the middle, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you've got 9 cup holders in a mid-sized truck. Oh, wait, I forgot. 10, 11, and 2 more over there. So we have 13, count it, 13 cup holders in a Toyota Tacoma. So if you get thirsty, this might be the truck for you. Plenty of storage for your drinks. One ding, sorry the sun's glaring. One ding I have to give it is no charging points in the rear for your passengers. And also no vents. The bottom of the center console is made to look like a vent, but it's not. Front end, as I said, LEDs, my headlights and fog lights, and the Raptor grill, or the TRD Pro grill, I opted for the Raptor lights. I have those tied into we're done with an additive fuse into the injector fuse, I believe. So anytime the ignition's on, the lights turn on, which I like. I also swapped out the license plate lights to LED. And another thing, I got these off of Amazon. You can get the Toyota genuine part cargo lights, or you can get the knockoff. I got the knockoffs. They're like 25 bucks on Amazon, about half the price of the Toyota. But it's very simple, at least on the SR5. It's already pre-wired. All you have to do is take out 2 bolts, 10 millimeter, take those out, pull the light back, and you already have your plug for those cargo lights. So it's a simple, very simple plug and play installation. I can link the video which I used. I'm forgetting the YouTuber's name, but it was one of my first mods that I did, and I love it, especially with the tonneau cover. At nighttime, you got plenty of light to see in there, so that's great. Also, definitely recommend the $109 the Toyota floor mat. The bed in this thing is just super painful to crawl around. So some attention to detail. Soft open tailgate, nice to see. Also, in this SR5, at least this Trail Edition, 400 watt power. And of course your little cargo box. I do wish there were more tie-down points, especially in the front. It'd be nice to see them in the front, about an inch or 2 off the floor, for carrying like thin items. I know there's ones that can bolt into the bed bolts. There's also a tie-down point there, which was used to install the Trail Edition boxes. The only other advantage that the Ford Ranger really had is payload and towing. Ford Ranger, I believe my gross vehicle weight rating was 1460. I believe that crew cab Ranger, 5-foot bed, could hold 1,460 pounds of payload and could tow 7,500 pounds. The Tacoma, unfortunately, is nowhere near that. towing capacity is pretty close. I believe it's 6,500 pounds. Yeah, our weight rating is at 990 pounds. Pretty low for a mid-sized truck. As far as driving goes, 3.5 liter in here seems to be sufficient, but it's not going to win any races against Ford's 2.3. But I do appreciate the simpler 6-speed transmission, and I also appreciate it seems to be more urgent to downshift. To help with engine braking. So I do like that. Right now I currently have 532 miles on here and I'm averaging 18.7, which also is worse than the Ranger. I'm hoping that'll improve with time, but I know it's not going to get exceptionally better. If I could get into low 20s, I'd be okay with that. The ride, though, at least in this SR5, is definitely better than the Ranger XLT Sport. Less bouncy, feels more controlled. Also, I'm sure it's been mentioned before, but I never noticed it until I drove it. Turning radius in the Tacoma is awesome.